Imagine a place where cannonballs are encouraged, marshmallows are mandatory, and just 5 more minutes turns into all day. That's Veranda Beach Resort on Lake Osoyoos, one of the warmest freshwater lakes in North America, located on the border of Canada in Oroville, Washington. The vibe is delightfully old school, with time spent with family and friends at the beach, on the lake, and under the stars. Sounds of laughter, dogs, and screen doors are the soundtracks of your stay. Rent your own fully furnished cottage with Wi-Fi and all the comforts you need. It's the best of then with all the ease of now. Veranda Beach Resort. Come play, stay, and make memories. Visit verandabeach.com now to book your stay.
Don't ask me to talk.
And welcome to yet another exciting edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. I am one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, and I'm the other one. I am Stacy Heller. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
We love having listeners. I mean,
here we are 2 weeks in a row. It's almost precedented.
Right? I mean, forget about the other 40 weeks that we've done in a row. I mean, you got to give a team a break a little bit.
Sometimes, especially during the summer.
Exactly. There's adventures to be had. Although this week at Veranda Beach, there were not many adventures to be had because of all of the fires that are still going on.
I was going to ask you about that. It seems like the Spokane fires are finally starting to get under control, and you're somewhat midway between Seattle area and Spokane. So you're starting to see some cleaner air as well?
We are. Today is the first day that I have been able to look out my window from the cottage and actually see the neighboring mountain that's right there. There is a fire that is in Tenasket area that is currently at, 53,000 acres. And it is trying to see how contained it is. I can't find the data for it, but it's crazy. It's been going on since late July. And when we get winds like we did today, our substation is in Tenasket, so the power can get wonky and whatever. And it's just sad. I mean, you just look at everything. But I gotta say, even when it's smoky here, people are doing their thing. People were out golfing. I'm like, are you crazy? I went swimming in the pool over the weekend, and there was literal ash falling into the pool. I was like, look at me. It's like being in a hot springs.
Sure. I guess.
Kind of.
Usually you're not directly next to the volcano
right.
doing the hot springs thing, but okay, I'll allow it.
But another unique thing.
And was this on Sunday, perchance, by the way?
It may have been.
You know why I ask is because guess whose birthday was on Sunday?
Somebody ashy?
Smokey the Bear.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Which
that's funny.
I kind of bring up because our topic today, this is a real roundabout way of mentioning our topic, which is two mascots fighting, or I guess we're weighing the strength and weaknesses of two different mascots, the Michelin Man and the Kool-Aid Man, and neither company sue us, please. This is just fan fiction.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
For the,
send us
the last
product,
segment,
and then we'll be able to figure it out for reals.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that makes sense. Like Smokey the Bear was like sending out birthday confetti, like a big piñata.
Right?
Uh-huh. Um, yeah, so that was kind of interesting, but there's still so much to do. I mean, I had guests this weekend. You know them. Stacy and Dave came up to Veranda Beach and we had an awesome time. And I now have got them on the Mahjong train.
All right.
Uh-huh. So now they are playing. And I just did moments ago the thing that I said I wasn't going to do. I'm not going to get obsessed with buying all the tiles. I'm not going to like start collecting too many. I have other things I want to do. 100% just bought a set of tiles. Yeah. So that happened.
Only you can fill your house with clutter.
It's true. It's true. I know, but they were so cute and they were cheap, and God knows what I'm going to get though, because I found them at Temu. So they might be like the size of chiclets, you know, the little tiny square gum. So it may be the smallest travel set ever known to man. Yeah. So anyway, what other useless things have I done? Oh, I discovered a app. As you know, I like playing games on my phone. I'm totally a phone gamer girl. And there's one that a friend told me about. Thanks a lot, Megan. And it's called Meowduku, which is like basically like Minesweeper. Remember Minesweeper?
Yeah.
With like, yeah. So in this case, you're trying to identify the cats, thus the meow, and not blow up. Yeah. That became a problem for a couple days there. So I literally had to delete the app from my phone. It was the hardest 4-day addiction I've ever gone through.
Right. Now, people in Tacoma would really be having a tough time with this game because, people are abandoning sailboats with 60 cats on them in the Sound. And there's a whole lot of meowing coming from the sea suddenly. So that would really make it tough to track down the kitties in the virtual sets.
What is the story behind this?
It's just the craziness that sometimes happens in Tacoma, but someone loaded a boat with cats and then abandoned it offshore in the Sound. And luckily, of course, police came, boarded the boat, collected all 60 cats. It took like 3 days to get them all. But we still don't know the story of what the heck was going on with the owner, or why all the cats were on the boat, or why so many cats. It's one of these mysteries that I think Serial's going to have to do their next season on, because this is far more interesting to me than any serial killer stuff.
Totally. I mean, like, what a bizarre thing. Obviously, the cruelty of abandoning all these cats.
Yes, yeah. And luckily, and I chuckle a little bit about it only because I know that the kitties are now safe and they, did not, suffer. They were maybe a little malnourished, but not starving to death or anything bad. And it seems like they were only out there, a few days. So everything's okay now. But yeah, it's insane.
Leaving a boat. Like, what kind of a boat was it? Like, was it like a rowboat?
No, it was like
or was it
like a sailboat?
That's crazy.
Like a mid-sized boat that can fit 60 cats. It's not a rowboat. Those cats would have jumped out of that.
This feels like this could be a children's book at some point.
Well, hopefully all the kitties get adopted.
Well, because I see the kitties, like, do you remember the book Caps for Sale? I don't remember how it went exactly, but I remember the artwork, and it was like a guy with like a ton of caps on top of his head. So I have this vision of like the pages being illustrated with cats on top of cats and pirate cats and cats like, you know, getting into all kind of mischief and scurvy cats and whatever. I think that there's a story there.
I think there's a sequel to the Cats the musical here. Cats at Sea.
Right? I'm going to have to work on
We're going to get that tune ourselves. The thing writes itself.
Exactly. it kind of does. Like, honestly.
Call me Andrew Lloyd Webber over here.
Okay, Andrew. I mean, I'm going to have to work up a treatment for this.
Sure.
I bet we can get this greenlit.
I think we may have to cut this from the podcast so no one steals our brilliant idea.
Exactly. Again, trademarked, people.
Yes.
By the time you're listening to this, I've already mailed the idea to myself and it's been postmarked. So there.
And, you know, I've heard that didn't actually work. But, you know, when I was a young songwriter, I actually did like mail cassette of my songs to myself. And I think I still have that envelope unsealed somewhere in my studio.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know somebody like talked about that once, and I was like, well, that's brilliant. So now I have copyright control, and
right.
You know, you're supposed to leave it closed, though, I think, so it proves the date of whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's got to have the postmark on it.
Okay, that's fun. Let's see, what else? So besides going through a 4 or 5 day addiction with this game and finding out that there was a sailboat full of cats and playing a lot of mahjong and spending money that I don't need to on tiles. Oh, I'm also going through, this must be like my addiction arc that I'm going through at the moment. Because speaking of random mascots, do you remember the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercial?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well, you look like him now. Holding up the Tootsie Pop.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Yes. It takes 3 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
It takes me way more, but I have been absolutely going through a thing. Like every day I have to have a Tootsie Pop.
All right. I remember liking those as a kid, but the thing with those is it was never like 3 licks even for me. It was like 2 licks. I could not resist the urge to crunch that lollipop and get right to the center.
Effed up teeth, Eric.
Hey, my teeth were fine back then.
That you know of.
No, they literally were. They were good. They were good teeth.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I like getting to the center and taking my time, and like, I don't know. I think they're delicious. So yeah, so that's been my exciting life this whole week. It's been just rocking. Yeah, what about you?
Sucking down candy.
Playing Maduko or whatever it's called. Like wasting time.
It's time for you to have a relaxed week like that after the last week where you were doing all that crazy traveling, going everywhere and bucking Broncos and all that stuff that was happening last week. You need kind of a laid back week.
Totally. It was great. And I was conjuring ideas and stuff. Like I even had a creative week. So apparently a Tootsie Roll Pop addiction feeds my creative soul.
Yeah. Yeah, you really, the thing is you really kind of need to be bored to be creative, right? It's like, a little bit. Yeah, if you're too much going on, you never really get to like have those gears turn in your brain that allows you to do really creative things like cats on a boat.
Right. I need another week of like
Yeah.
something so that I can work on this treatment for this
Right?
children's book.
And I've had one of those kind of mellow weeks myself. Of course, the previous couple weeks did our little trips, and those were a lot of fun. I got to say, one thing that was really cool that I didn't mention last week was sitting on the beach at Long Beach and watching people. I assume they were practicing. Now, there's a kite festival that happens there every year. Oh. This wasn't happening while we were there, but there was these professional kite flyers. I had no idea you could make a career out of this, but these people were masters of their craft. And there was like a team of them where there was like 6 people flying kites together, and they would do all these like synchronized displays where the kites would dive in and out from each other, and
That's like the Blue Angels.
Yeah, they were the Blue Angels of kites, essentially. So I filmed a little bit of that while I, watched them, and it was really cool. And I just thought to myself, if I did that within 30 seconds, my kite would be completely wrapped up with the person next to me and probably the other 3 or 4 people too. And there would be no untying it. It would just be like, well, we're just going to have to cut this string off and chase the kite as it blows away down the beach, and then, eventually get new strings for it. Because I don't have that kind of skill or coordination.
Right. And I can remember the feeling of running down the beach with the kite and trying to catch the wind, and the kite basically doing the same thing that when you're driving along the highway and your window's open and your hand sort of like rides the wave. Well, my kite would do the same thing. It would go up and it would crash down, and then I would drag it and it would go up and it would crash down. And I remember that like tension, and it would never just fully take off. But that's fun. That's really fun to watch.
Well, they've got some of the best kite flying wind in the world there on like Long Beach, and they even actually have a kite museum. So if you're a kite enthusiast, which maybe I'll have to get into this hobby once I retire because I don't have time for it right now. But yeah, it's fun to watch, and that's definitely the place to do it, to have a lot of fun.
Do people kite surf there?
I haven't seen that, so I don't know, but maybe they do. The water's a little chilly, so you got to do the full wetsuit when you're surfing over there.
I was going to say, is it like a craggy, rocky shoreline, or
no? Very sandy, beachy.
Oh, well, interesting. Maybe you could start it.
I've never surfed in any shape or form, so sure, I'm gonna pioneer kite surfing there.
Perfect.
Once I retire, it's just a big list of hobbies that I'm gonna take up once I retire. Not there yet.
You know what? Hopefully,
once I finish the Cats on a Boat musical as well,
with their flippity flops. It could be worse. You could play Mahjong all the time.
Well, there you go. Instead of doing that, I've just been watching a bunch of movies, which we'll talk about in our next segment, of course, cultural blind spots. But I saw the 2 biggest movies of the year this week. So I definitely want to talk about that. But I also saw some classics, and I've just got so many that I'm going to have to just trim it down to a couple to talk about. But I've been on a real binge lately, seeing some good stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I revisited the movies of Fred Astaire. So
okay.
Yeah, I wanna talk about it when we're talking about our cultural blind spots.
Yeah.
Again, not to be confused with our irritable bowel spots. And because there's a rumor in Hollywood, and I'm hoping it's true. So I'll share that when we talk about it. But yeah, I went for kind of like the comfort thing. And I watched so many Fred Astaire movies when I was younger and hadn't watched one in a really long time, and found one that I had actually not seen before. So I rewatched and watched.
Now, I'm trying to think if I ever saw any Fred Astaire movies, and, I'm not sure that I have. Now, I remember seeing Santa Claus is Coming to Town, where he was the narrator back as a kid. And I guess he was on an episode of Battlestar Galactica as well, which I'm sure I also saw as a kid. But yeah, as far as his real movies go, he made a lot of them, but I don't think I've seen any. So this is a big blind spot for me. And of course, I've seen the clips with him dancing, being a fabulous dancer. With Ginger Rogers most of the time, I believe. But
he was in something called Finnegan's Rainbow.
Okay.
In the late 60s. But that was like such a departure from his usual thing. And I think it was maybe one of, if not his last roles. I mean, he was born in 1899, if I remember, from, most young girls have boy bands that they're obsessed over and they know like when they were born. And I'm like, Fred Astaire was born in 1899.
Yes. Well, it looks like his last role was something called Ghost Story, which seems appropriate if it's his final role.
Okay. That's like what we were talking about last week.
Yes. And that was 1981. So he made it all those years.
Wow. So he was 82.
Yeah. His first movie, 1933. Dancing Lady.
Yeah. Well, I think I've seen that one. And the one that I watched is from 1951, although it was based in 1947. So, a big time shift, but I'll explain why when we get there.
I have to
leave people like on the hook.
Yeah. Wanting more. And
exactly.
Yeah. I figured out a movie that I did see with him. So I'll talk about that in the next segment. But Perfect. It hasn't been particularly exciting for me this week, except for seeing all the fun movies. I was going to go to a concert and then it didn't work out. But I did go see Comedy Bang Bang live at the Moore Theater, which was a lot of fun. It was extremely warm in the theater, though. Oh. So by the end, I'm like, I'm loving this, but please wrap this up.
Yeah.
I got to get out of here. I'm going to fall asleep any second now.
Uh-huh. Well, at least it was that and not feeling like you were going to pass out.
Well, I don't think I've ever passed out, to be honest. But I've definitely felt sleepy.
Never fainted?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a fainter.
I'm a fainter, or at least I used to be. And I conveniently would faint in church.
So now that doesn't sound like it was actual fainting. This sounds like,
No, it was not.
Feigned fainting, maybe.
It was not feigned. It was usually in the summertime when it was really hot and the fans were going.
In the summertime when it's nice and hot. Pass out in the church.
Parking lot.
Parking lot. Hey, see? This is why we team up.
See? I see a musical. Anyway, yes. So I was a fainter, but it's been a long time. But definitely when I get overheated, it's not, I want to go to sleep. I'm like, don't lock my legs. Otherwise, I'm going to just fall over. Yeah. Fun facts. What can I say? All right. Well, we don't have a ton to talk about.
Now we're running out of gas for this segment. So why don't we take a break and then come back and talk about something that we actually have stuff to talk about. It's our cultural blind spots. As you implied earlier, it's CBS. It beats IBS. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be back after these words right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. Imagine a place where cannonballs are encouraged, marshmallows are mandatory, and just 5 more minutes turns into all day. That's Veranda Beach Resort on Lake Osoyoos, one of the warmest freshwater lakes in North America, located on the border of Canada in Oroville, Washington. The vibe is delightfully old school, with time spent with family and friends at the beach, on the lake, and under the stars. Sounds of laughter, dogs, and screen doors are the soundtracks of your stay. Rent your own fully furnished cottage with Wi-Fi and all the comforts you need. It's the best of then with all the ease of now. Veranda Beach Resort. Come play, stay, and make memories. Visit verandabeach.com now to book your stay. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Reiner.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm the other one. And welcome back to The Big Shoe.
The really big shoe.
Yeah, it was a weird week, low key. Sounds like you watched a lot of stuff. And I had a theme to my stuff that I watched that was inspired by some news that I had heard around the Hollywood parts. And I have not looked it up. Like I could 100% just like Google this, and I haven't, because I don't want it.
Or you could DuckDuckGo it.
Oh, is that a new thing?
Well, it's I got fed up with Google because they're always trying to cram the AI down your throat now, and the AI is often riddled with errors. And I A, want true information, and B, don't want to be, using another data center that's like draining all this fresh water from people that need it and driving up power rates and all that stuff. So I said, let me see if there's a different engine out there, search engine out there that I can use. And I found DuckDuckGo, and it works great.
Okay, look at that. But this is not even sponsored. Like,
it doesn't have the cultural panache of, saying like Google it. So they need to have they need to come up with some kind of thing like duck it or something like that. Just duck it, that people can say, because DuckDuckGo is a mouthful. Like, whereas like Google it, it's almost like it's a verb, or Bing it, it's like a verb. But
well, maybe you've been goosed, because it's usually duck, duck, goose. So I goosed it.
Well, there you go.
Because if you duck, duck, go, maybe you've been goosed.
Yeah, I think that might confuse people, though. So just duck it.
Okay. Do you think kids still play duck, duck, goose?
I bet they do.
I hope so.
I bet, there's preschools still doing that.
I hope so, because, that's a classic, like Miss Mary Mack and all that stuff. Anyway,
sure, I mean, it's public domain. You don't need any equipment to do it. So it's a perfect one of those preschool games.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
And I always liked it, except that
it's like musical chairs, except that you don't even need the chairs.
It's true. You don't. You just have to sit in a corner, and then you have to be able to run in a circle, which is harder than it seems, because you would always sort of slip. Anyway. Okay, well, I'm going first because I think you've seen way more.
Well, yeah, but let's first set the scene for folks that don't know. This is our Cultural Blind Spot segment. This is where we talk about the pieces of culture that neither of us, or individually, we haven't seen, despite them being big phenomenons that people say, what, you haven't seen? When you say, I've never seen this, or I've never seen that. This is where we're like crossing those things off our big list of stuff that we've avoided all our lives for many different reasons. And so now we're finally getting with the zeitgeist, sometimes 100 years late, but hey, we're getting there. So, Stacey, you go first. Tell me what you watched this week that was a cultural blind spot for you.
Okay, so it kind of isn't, but I knew that it would be for you and lots of our listeners. So somehow when I was a kid, I got introduced to Fred Astaire movies. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, as you mentioned in the first segment, they famously almost always partnered together, but he did dance with some other people. And I just loved them. And I became obsessed with Fred Astaire. Like the grace, the athleticism. He just was, I don't know, so interesting to watch. And so I had seen a ton of his movies. I don't know. I have just seen a bajillion of them. Now, he wasn't a great like romantic foil. I mean, he always did play that, but his voice wasn't really great. And, you know, he wasn't the best looking guy, but man, he could move. And anyway.
He was famous for his dancing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he was famous, like he had a very distinct style. He always wore his pants short, and he would wear bright socks because he wanted to call attention to his feet. Apparently he was very conscious about his hands. And so when he danced, he would do this weird thing with his fingers so that they looked smaller. He would wear a necktie around his waist as a belt. You know, like he had a very kind of a dapper, cool style. Anyway, so I became super obsessed, and I somehow had missed the movie Royal Wedding. And it's honestly one of his most iconic movies because it's in the movie Royal Wedding that he famously danced on the ceiling. So
1951?
Yep. And it's set at the time of Queen Elizabeth's impending nuptials.
Okay.
And he and his sister, who is, they're an act that played in New York, and they've been invited to play in London in the month leading up to the royal wedding. And so naturally, they each find love with somebody. Peter Lawford is in it.
So naturally, they're a brother and sister dance act.
Yes. And a brother and sister dance act that's apparently 30 years apart because his co-star was 30 years younger than him. So, yeah, totally.
Jane Powell.
But anyway.
Jane Powell, apparently, is co-star.
So it is a scene where he's in love, and he's so in love, he's able to dance around the room. And so he's dancing up.
Dance around their age difference.
Yes, exactly. He dances on the ceiling and down the walls, and it's like this
what a
interesting
feeling.
And here's the deal.
Dancing on the ceiling.
That's where Lionel Richie got it from.
Sure.
And, you know, like I had heard that like, oh, this was from like a Fred Astaire thing, but I had never seen the movie. And so I watched the movie. Okay. Real fans' take on this. 1, is it June or Jane Powell that he starred with?
Jane Powell.
Okay. She has one of those clawing voices that's like, when I'm in love with you, and like just painful. So I was like fast forwarding through those scenes. Oof. Now,
this was the problem of the Marx Brothers, A Night at the Opera, as well. It was full of operatic singing.
Right.
Like,
and I was just like, right. And normally it's not like, apparently this movie, because I watched it on Prime, and you can find like fun facts at the bottom. And so I was reading the fun facts. And apparently this was at one time considered one of AFI's, like one of the top 200 most romantic movies or something. And so they're both, Fred Astaire and his sister are mooning over their respective love interests. And so the songs are just sappy as heck. But the dancing, Fred Astaire dances with a coat rack, and he is, of course, crazy and dexterous with it, and it's amazing. And then there's a scene where he and his sister put on a show on the cruise ship because naturally they have to sail across to get to England. And the cruise ship is rocking, and so they move all over the dance floor. And then the very iconic, of course, ceiling dance thing that has, I looked it up, and supposedly there's a nod to it or a similar vibe in Inception, which I've never seen, blind spot. And also 2001 A Space Odyssey uses a similar thing. And so anyway, I finally saw it, and I gotta say, for 1951, like, really, really cool. And it just really highlighted Fred Astaire and what a magical dancer he was. Now, the whole reason that I did this is because I heard that Tom Holland is slated to play Fred Astaire.
Really?
Yes. Now, as I said, I haven't goosed this or ducked it, but I heard that he is set to do this. And I was like, this
That seems like an odd choice to me. For
what? Tom Holland dances.
Tom Holland is great. I'll talk about him in my part of this segment. But he doesn't look like Fred Astaire to me.
Well, I mean, yes, there's that.
It's kind of a big part of being cast in a biopic is kind of at least passingly resembling the character that you're playing, unless you're doing extensive makeup. And that usually works when a thin guy is playing a fat guy. But outside of that, it doesn't normally work.
He just has to do like a receding hairline comb over, and, you know, he's trim, and I don't know. Supposedly it's going to be a biopic about Fred Astaire. And I'm just hoping that they don't burst my bubble about Fred Astaire being a good guy. I know that he was very demanding in his roles, and he liked doing like a full take, and that he was really hard to dance with and all that. I think perfectionism. But like, I want to hear that he was like a nice guy. So anyway, so that's the whole thing that inspired it. I am hopeful that it's a good movie, and I'm hopeful that my delusions of grandeur about Fred Astaire are not popped. And if you want to see a really fun Fred Astaire movie, I recommend that you see The Gay Divorcee, which is a fabulous movie with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. The dresses are epic. The dancing is amazing. It's funny. And then also Funny Faces with Audrey Hepburn. And that one, he plays a photographer and she's a fashion model, and she wears all of these amazing, I think it's Givenchy dresses. And there's a famous scene of her coming down the stairs in, I think, the Louvre in a red dress. So she looks like the famous Venus sculpture. So those are two of his movies that I would highly recommend. If you want to go to some old timey black and white, he started to get into color movies. They're really fun. So there you go. That's my cultural blind spot.
Well, very good. I may have to check out some more, because I feel like the only thing I've seen, aside from the Christmas special that I mentioned earlier, was Holiday Inn, which stars Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire together, teaming up. And I've got a soft spot in my heart for Bing Crosby because he was born in Tacoma, where I live. And so I thought, okay, you've got like the two like biggest stars of that age kind of teaming up, and this is the first movie that features the Irving Berlin classic White Christmas, actually written for this film. And then later it was such a huge popular hit that they made a movie called White Christmas. That's in it. But Holiday Inn was where it was first used, and it's kind of a corny story of like Bing Crosby buys like a hotel, and they make it holiday themed. So it's not even just Christmas. It's like every holiday they celebrate to the hilt, essentially. And they do singing and dancing to entertain folks as they come and stay at Holiday Inn. It's a lot of fun, Problem is, there's a big blackface scene, and
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna bring that up.
It's really like, oh, this kind of takes the fun out of things for a bit. So yeah, if you can ignore that part, or maybe there's a phantom edit of it somewhere that gets rid of that.
Yeah,
that would probably be better.
That's a little tricky. I think it's funny that Irving Berlin, the nice Jewish composer, lyricist, wrote White Christmas, and apparently he's like, all I know is that people want a white Christmas and they write Christmas cards and stuff. And I mean, he nailed it. And here's a family fun fact. My grandpa went to rehab and was in the same room as Irving Berlin.
All right. Well, there you go. Did your grandpa write a holiday classic?
No,
okay.
He did not. My grandpa was a loser.
You've got so many of these stories that are like, inches from greatness. My cousin painted the pool of a famous author.
Yeah. I have a cousin who's a cheesemaker. Yeah. It's the story of my life. Steps from greatness.
Inches from greatness.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anyway. All right. So what did you see this week?
Well, anyway, speaking of greatness, I saw the biggest movies of the summer here over this last week. I didn't know that they would both be released within the last 3 weeks, but it just so happened. And so I went and saw, I've been wanting to see Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey since the trailer came out. And people have been like buzzing about this movie and I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. I have been since Memento, his second movie. And he's gone all kinds of places with his movies. But they've always been entertaining and thought-provoking. So I've been on board for pretty much all of them, even though, as I've talked about on this show, there's been a few where I've just been like, I don't know. I don't know about this. And then inevitably I'll go check it out later and I'll love it. That happened with Interstellar, for instance. You talked about Inception. I saw that in the theater. That is a lot of fun. But it's one of those big blockbuster movies that is so like almost convoluted in the concept of it that you would think like, oh, there's no way this is going to be successful. This is like for artsy-fartsy nerds. And turns out artsy-fartsy nerds go see movies big time. And so it was a big blockbuster. So I went last night and saw The Odyssey in the theater. And of course, it stars the blockbuster repertory players of the summer, which also star in the other huge movie that I watched this week, which I'll talk about in a second. Tom Holland, Zendaya, and John Berthel. And they also all star in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I saw. So it's just funny.
That's crazy.
That these three actors are in both of the biggest movies of the summer. And both released within a couple weeks of each other. And the Odyssey was so big and so huge that it was still like in the number one position when Spider-Man came out, Spider-Man Brand New Day came out, and then bumped it to the number two position because this is also a massive movie. But this often summers go by and we've got just a bunch of crap. But we got lucky this year that we've got two really great big blockbusters in the movie in the theaters at the same time. So I can highly recommend both. And The Odyssey is a lot of fun, but it's a real kind of a thinker. It's a thinker.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of action in it, and the effects are brilliant. And the thing about Christopher Nolan that I admire with his movie making is that he really leans towards practical effects. So everything in the movie does not look like CGI. It looks like it's actually happening. It's actually there because for the vast majority of the time, it was actually happening. It was actually there. They may have used some perspective tricks. They may have used some other, old special effects. But for the most part, it's all being filmed as it's happening, as opposed to, months later, someone going in with computers and adding effects. So it looks...
Insert Cyclops here.
Yeah, it looks like $1 billion. He filmed the whole thing in IMAX. I didn't see it in IMAX. I saw it on a regular huge screen. But I just didn't have, all the IMAX showings were sold out. And at times when I couldn't make it. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to wait anymore. I want to go see this. And I don't regret it because it looked great on the screen that I saw it on. So I think people are going to be okay seeing it on a regular movie screen. But I would highly recommend seeing it on the big screen as opposed to waiting for streaming, because despite the fact that it's close to 3 hours long, it really is one of those great epics that looks amazing on the big screen. And the acting is brilliant. And there's been a lot of dumb hot takes about this movie already. And I highly recommend just ignoring all of those and just going in with as little knowledge about this as possible, because that's the best way to absorb really any movie, but especially this, because a lot of the hot takes have been just either racist or racist adjacent, or just dumb and completely not clued in to the actual history or anything. I will say what's interesting about this movie is that it takes almost a very realistic take on the Odyssey, which is of course a historical but also fantastical story. Homer's Odyssey. It's it's an adventure poem from ancient Greece. That, talks about the gods and stuff. Now, this movie doesn't feature the gods, like, say, a Clash of the Titans or Jason and the Argonauts, which I also watched recently. It implies that all these people believe in the gods. They talk about Zeus's law quite a bit. But you never cut away to Zeus and Athena hanging out and debating and playing chess or whatever, or Poseidon popping out of the sea. It's none of that. And there's an opening title card that says in an age of apparent, or it's an age of apparent magic. And that kind of sets the scene. That kind of sets the movie. Now, for some reason, I didn't see that screen pop up, or that title card pop up. So I must have looked down at my popcorn at exactly the wrong time, because as soon as the movie started, as far as I could tell, it was just we're in the movie, and and there's no title cards beyond that. And I only knew about that because I listened to a podcast about this particular movie later and did a little research on it. I'm like, I don't remember that. But I've seen this talked about by enough sources that I know that I just somehow must have missed it. But yeah, they don't even put up the title or the cast or any of those normal credits that start a movie until the very end of the movie. So I kept waiting for that and thinking oh, okay, any second now it's going to be the Odyssey and the big score and all this stuff. Nope, you're in the middle of the movie immediately. And it's brilliantly acted and brilliantly directed and produced. And I'm looking forward to seeing it again, because there was a lot of stuff that I felt like I didn't quite grasp the first time, but there was enough compelling action and the story to to hook me in for that whole time. I wasn't bored at all. So highly gonna,
I love that.
Yeah, gonna definitely recommend it. And of course, you mentioned Matt Damon. He's great, starring as Odysseus in the lead. and it's got a great cast. You got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, who I already mentioned, Anne Hathaway. You got Robert Pattinson he is great in The Batman, which I really enjoyed. But it's interesting, he's not playing a hero at all in this. He's like a real douche. And he really, he does a great job playing Antinius, who is just a, kind of a scumbag and a hanger-on through and a conniving little weasel, but he's great at it. And it's got so many, like every single person in this role or in these roles are talented actors that have been around for a while that know what they're doing. John Leguizamo is in it. He's great in the film.
Okay.
And like, I feel like some of the controversy over it is like they're not speaking with Greek accents, or I think people expected them to all have British accents, whereas the standard thing that they went for with this movie was everybody's got American accents, which makes sense because if you've got like one guy that's British, Tom Holland, and the rest of them are American. I mean, Anne Hathaway, right, I guess, is English too, but both of them.
And Robert Pattinson.
And Robert Pattinson. Okay, so you got three. But it would be weird if, like, suddenly with three people on this tiny island of Ithaca, where they're from, were, like, speaking with British accents, and then the rest of them had American accents. It really needs to be just, pick an accent. I don't think it has to be historically accurate because we don't know exactly how ancient Greece, how their accents sounded.
No.
It's just all we want is some consistency. Yeah.
For all we know, like the people from ancient Greece, it would be like the equivalent of doing blackface in Holiday Inn, right? They're like, that's not how we talk. What are you doing? And that's tricky. So I agree. And since it is such a long movie, I would just like to do a PSA. There is an app, if you don't know about it, that is called RunP. And it tells you, it's true. And it tells you where you can go for pee breaks. And then it tells you what you missed during the time that you went.
It's a great idea.
And you can even set a timer so that it's like, okay, set the timer for when I have to go. So check out RunP, and then you don't have to miss anything.
Well, hopefully you've got it set to vibrate in your pocket so you don't have an alarm going off in the middle of this movie, breaking the spell for everybody else that has a decent-sized bladder.
Well, it's a time of apparent magic.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so then you also saw,
Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yes, this is the fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And, of course, stars Tom Holland. It stars Zendaya. It stars John Bernthal. Mark Ruffalo is in it, revising his role as the Hulk or Bruce Banner. It's got Sadie Sink in it. The character that she is a little bit of a surprise, so I won't spoil it. But Florence Pugh is in it. And so it's got the regular players in the Marvel universe. But this is the first, as far as I know, Marvel movie role for John Bernthal, who plays the Punisher and had the TV series The Punisher and has appeared multiple times on the Daredevil series. Now, no Daredevil in this. That may be a spoiler for some, but I think that's already been confirmed many times. Okay. Which seems a little bit strange because what's great about this movie is it's very much unlike the other movies that were a lot of like the big we're in space kind of thing of the MCU up to this point. This was very much a street level movie.
And that's nice.
Yeah, a little more restrained, although it does have him, fighting some big baddies. And so I think, but that street level thing is one of the things that people love about Spider-Man is that he's not the mighty Thor. He's not a god. He's just a kid, trying to get by and trying to help, his city fight some crime. And so they do a good job of balancing both aspects, I think, with this. And it's really very well done. I like the new suit that they got him in. It's it's a lot more comic accurate than some of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies up to this point. I will say the one thing that annoyed me is that he's got like an AI assistant hooked up to his suit, which annoyed me when it was like, okay, it's Iron Man gave him this. And that annoyed me at that point, but at least it was like, okay, well, that is similar to Iron Man's whole aesthetic, his suit and his powers, but Spider-Man didn't have that. He was just a guy, but suddenly they layered on that like Iron Man thing on him, so they called it Iron Spider at that point. Which this is real nerdy stuff, I know, so bear with me.
No, but
I'm getting to a point. So when they decided to make it like, oh, he made his own costume now, he is more street level. It was like, okay, I thought we were going to finally be free of this. And instead, it's like he's chatting with ChatGPT the whole time. And the AI assistant like spells out so much stuff that you don't need it. And this is all stuff that's self-evident from just watching the movie. We don't need to know about like, a spider DNA accelerating. It's just we can see all that stuff. I feel like it's the kind of dumb stuff that like Netflix was demanding from their writers for people that only half watch movies and spend the rest of the time on their phone. I don't want that when I go to the movies. I want to be able to see the actions and figure it out for myself. And the Odyssey never does anything like that. It's never spelled out. You really have to, I'm not saying work hard, but you actually have to pay attention to understand the movie. Yeah. With the Spider-Man, forget about like going to the bathroom. You can go to the bathroom all you want. You come back and you'll get a summary from this stupid AI assistant. And I just want to be, I'm just so tired of that in real life. I don't want it in the movies that I watched. I want him to.
Honestly, that's fair.
Come on, Peter Parker, duck off with that stuff.
Or I think you mean in this case, duck go.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
That's kind of too bad because then it also is like the MCU is making a statement about AI,
Yeah, I mean, I guess, or maybe there's no escaping that. I don't know. Or maybe they thought like, oh, this works so great with the previous movies that, people weren't lost at all. But it really felt like, okay, this is, so that kids can understand it. And I just feel like kids are going to watch a movie like 100 times if they like it. So they don't need things spelled out to them. And adults are a little bit quicker with that sort of thing, and they don't need it spelled out to them. And when you're in a movie theater and this feels like it's like a skin that you should be able to like turn on your Netflix viewing for, for half watching, half paying attention so that you can, catch everything even while you're like playing Tetris on your phone or whatever.
Well, and even kids, like these days, kids get that. You don't even need that. So, yeah, that's frustrating. That's an interesting choice that they made.
Yeah. So besides that, though, it's great. It's a lot of fun. And here's the thing. I ended up walking in like maybe 2 minutes into the start of the movie. So I also missed the title. And and for all I know, it's a time of apparent magic for Spider-Man as well.
There you go.
But I missed
it's a time of apparent AI.
Yeah, I missed that, and so I was like, like in the middle of this movie, it felt like, but with both the Odyssey and Spider-Man, people came in like 20 minutes into the movie. While I was watching it, I thought, really?
Wow.
I almost left when I was 2 minutes late because I'm like, well, am I going to be able to catch up now?
Yeah, because a lot happens right away.
Right, but people were just wandering in midway through, and I guess that's a thing now. I don't know, but it just really seemed like, wow. Like back in the day, if you came in late for a movie, you just sit and like 20 minutes later, they'd start the movie again, and you can't. But it's not like that anymore.
Right.
They come in and
No.
clear you out. But both of these movies are great. They're fun blockbusters. If you're a fan of the MCU, I think you're going to like Brand New Day, the latest Spider-Man movie. And if you're a fan of big epic movies, ancient Greece, any of that stuff, I think you're going to like The Odyssey. So I'll give high recommendations to both of those for different reasons. Yes.
Yeah, Pete said he went to see The Odyssey as well, and he had a similar take as you. And I'm sure that at least 2 of my 4 kids, if they haven't already gone to see Spider-Man, they will be shortly, because really all of them, well, all right, maybe not Annie, they're all MCU and Spider-Man nerds. So I love it. That's so good.
And if you're itching if you see The Odyssey and you love it and you're itching for more of that epic poems from the epic tales from ancient Greece, you might want to check out Jason and the Argonauts from 1963. I watched this recently. I called it jokingly the poor man's Odyssey on the show a couple weeks ago. And you know what? I remember as a kid even thinking like, oh, this is a little, the special effects in this are a little janky. Because even then I could see like the jerkiness of the stop motion action of the creatures that are in it. Now, famously, there's a big skeleton army that they fight in the movie. There's some harpies. There is there's a god, or a big.
Does harpies mean what I think it means? Like harpies was always like, I don't know, like fast girls or something.
I think harpy is a derogatory term for women that are annoying. But in Greek mythology, a harpy is a half human, half bird mythical creature.
Okay.
Often believed to be the personification of storm winds. And in the movie, they're like 2 half bird, half women creatures that are annoying the hell out of a guy that they need to have them get information of where they should go next in their odyssey. And so basically they have to free him of the harpies that steal all his food and knock over his table and just terrorize this guy. So all these effects in Jason and the Argonauts are done with stop motion visual effects from Ray Harryhausen. And I remember watching Jason and the Argonauts as a kid, and then from the 80s watching Clash of the Titans with Harry Hamlin. And they both had the stop motion animation visual effects. And I got to say, as an adult, I was a lot more forgiving of their imperfections. I just, knowing more about the craft now and how it's done, I just had just nothing but appreciation for how much work and effort went into it, even though I could, it's obvious that it's not real. Right. Whereas hats off to Christopher Nolan with The Odyssey 2026. Everything in this movie looks real, looks incredible. Wow. And it's just like, oh, wow, how do you do that? Like there's a scene with a giant cyclops in it. And it looks like a real giant. He's in a cave like munching on some of these soldiers. And he looks like a real deal giant.
That's
and I'm like,
cool. That stuff is cool. And I've heard that Christopher Nolan is really good that way. And it's like, in a way, over-engineering the effects. It just becomes so obvious, and it takes the actors and the audience out of the viewing experience.
Yeah. And with Jason and the Argonauts, there's no time in this movie where you feel like, oh, this is real. You
Right.
don't suspend disbelief, but it is a lot of fun. And Ray Harryhausen did some incredible stuff. And I feel like if they had the budget for this movie that they had today, they might have had a more seamless film. But
Sure.
nevertheless, it's just a fun watch. It's a great story that's similar to the Odyssey, where it's a guy. He's on a boat. He's on a quest. He's got to go to these different lands and do different things. And he pisses off the gods. But he's got one on his side. He's got Athena on his side. And, she kind of helps him out along the way. And I won't say too much more about it, but if you want to see a giant Poseidon pop out of the water and hassle a ship, a little boat, a toy boat, this is the movie to watch. Jason and the Argonauts, it's a lot of fun. So I think it may scratch some itch anyway after seeing the Odyssey in the theater on the big screen where it's meant to be seen. This is a fun film that doesn't lose anything by watching it at home on your TV. So,
Okay. Well, I think usually in school curriculum, I want to say like freshman year or something, I think they read the Odyssey or parts of it or something, because it's the whole talking about the hero's journey and that trope in literature and whatever. So this is a good way to, without having to read it, you can watch between the Odyssey and Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah, you
Hey,
get the
guys.
Odyssey and the Argonautica and a 1-2 punch there.
Right?
And
So-
and neither are 100% faithful to the source material, but the Odyssey itself seems pretty darn close.
Okay.
And a lot of, and I'm not going to say necessarily a lot of fun, but absolutely compelling.
I love it. I may have to go see it, although I'm going to have to find a movie theater that's around these parts. I don't know where the closest movie theater is. Maybe OMAC.
Maybe
I
in
don't
Lake of Soyuz.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't think so. Anyway, okay. Well, anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to save your other stuff?
I think I'm going to have to save the other stuff. I feel like I've talked way too much this segment.
Well,
so apologies,
I mean,
folks, but
No,
yeah, lots to
I
talk
think
about.
it's- Totally. And I think it's look, these days, less and less people are going to movie theaters. And so between movies like Project Hail Mary and, Spider-Man and which the MCU, sometimes you feel like it's jumped the shark a bit with some of the movies. And so coming back to its Spidey roots is nice. And then the Odyssey, it's nice that there's some original content that is being made that is encouraging people to go to the movies again. So
Absolutely.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. All right.
I love it.
Don't
All right.
don't miss out.
Yeah.
Like we
Guys, go to the theater.
typically miss out. Don't be like
Yeah,
us.
well, exactly. This is how this whole segment started.
50 years from now, don't have to cross these off your cultural blind spot list. Just check it out now while you can. All right,
Exactly.
We're going to take
All
a
right.
quick break, and we're going to get back to our top topic or our great debate, which was I nearly forgot because it's been a while since we actually mentioned it. But it was, of course, the Kool-Aid Man versus Michelin Man. I don't know what it means either, but stay tuned. We'll find out. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm one of your podcast pals, along with Eric Ryder from Don't Ask Me to Talk. Are you liking what you're listening to? Awesome. We would love if you would follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Don't Ask Me to Talk. We also are wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can follow us, subscribe, like, rate, whatever it is that you do. You can also email us. That's asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. And if you'd like, text or leave us a voicemail at 475-999-2726. Basically, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, everybody. I am Stacey Heller. And, you know that you love the segment where we talk about our cultural blind spots. And I do too. But I also kind of love this one because it is such utter nonsense.
Honestly, this is in my top 3 segments.
Yeah, there's only 3 segments.
Sure, go and spoil my joke.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun. I mean,
I
it's
agree.
important to have these conversations.
I agree. And for folks that don't know how this worked, we have a little something called the Wheel O Topics. Now, Stacey, you load this thing up with all kinds of icebreakers or goofy topics, stuff we can debate each week. None of it too serious, but sometimes it gets slightly heated because we have opinions. And last week, the wheel selected Michelin Man versus Kool-Aid Man. And I always like to find out what the inspiration for a topic was, but I desperately need you to elucidate this one because I'm not sure exactly what even the question is with this one. So give us the inspiration and give us what you were really thinking with this topic.
Well, for a while, there was a trend going around like who would win, 100 duck-sized horses or, 10 horse-sized ducks and like all of these hypotheticals that were out there. And so it was sort of like, okay, let's think about a hypothetical that is a little sillier. And so thus the Michelin Man and the Kool-Aid Man, I had seen an old ad or something came up about Kool-Aid. And I was like, oh, I mean, this is a perfect versus scenario. Who's going to win like in a fight? And so here we are actually talking about this. Yeah, that's right. It's happening. So, they're 2 men. They're 2.
As far as we know.
As far as we know. They're 2 characters that represent brands. They are very popular from like the 70s, 80s, right? So it feels like a fair question to pose.
All right. Well, maybe first some background on each, starting with the Michelin Man. He is the official mascot of the Michelin Tire Company, sometimes known as the Michelin Man or the Michelin Tire Man. He was introduced at the Lyon exhibition of 1894, where the Michelin brothers had a stand. He's one of the world's oldest trademarks still in active use. So that's interesting. I had no idea that he's been around for that long. Who knew? I remember seeing him as a kid, always being kind of fascinated by the Michelin Man. Like, what is he? Is he a mummy? What, right. He's from a tire company. So you go, okay, those circles are tires, but they're white tires, which is weird. You don't see too many white tires anymore anyway. So yeah, I always thought that was interesting. Like, why isn't he black? But yeah. Okay.
And he has like a vibe, like a little Stay Puft Marshmallow-y,
He is, yeah, yeah. I'm sure this Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was based on the Michelin Man.
Oh, no doubt.
Heavily inspired by, at least.
I would think so,
yes.
Totally. Now, whereas the Kool-Aid Man...
Yes, the Kool-Aid Man, sometimes referred to as the Kool-Aid Guy. I've never heard that. Captain Kool-Aid or Big Thirst. Never heard any of these aliases. Maybe when he checks into a hotel, he checks in as Big Thirst.
Hey, I got a big thirst here.
Originally known as Pitcher Man. That I can believe because I looked up the first appearance of Kool-Aid in a commercial, and it is literally the pitcher of Kool-Aid sitting on the table with a smile on it. And it talks a little bit. And so that's the original version of the Kool-Aid Man, not the giant guy that busts through walls. It's originally just a talking pitcher. So that's like 1954. Okay. And then in the 70s is when they anthropomorphized him to be more human, gave him legs and arms and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's the official mascot of Kool-Aid. And the character has appeared on television and in print advertising as a fun-loving, gigantic, and joyful pitcher filled with cherry Kool-Aid. I didn't know that they ever actually said what flavor he was. Now,
that's interesting.
Typically featured answering the call of children by smashing through walls or furnishings and then holding a pitcher filled with Kool-Aid. He's like, Jesus, drink my blood. While saying his catchphrase, "Oh yeah." The character's popular appeal had led to him being featured in numerous advertisements, tie-in products, and cameos. So he goes back as far as 1954, although it took him 20 years to grow into his body, unlike the Michelin Man who's been around since 1894. So that's just a little background on the two different characters. And I got to say, I love both these guys as a kid growing up. Like anytime I was a sucker for any cartoon mascot that you could have. And then you put these guys in amongst the real world, as they often did with the commercials, like the Honey Nut Cheerio Bee. I was on board.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? I mean, and Kool-Aid was just like straight sugar.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So, who doesn't love a pitcher of straight sugar? Like, sort of like the good old-fashioned lemonade of country time. Right.
Well, it was rare that we got the name brand Kool-Aid. When I was a kid, it was often, some of the lesser brands, Flavor Aid or the store brand version of Kool-Aid. But it's like Kleenex. It's so ubiquitous when it comes to like the name branding of that particular powdered drink that's made with, like 40 scoops of sugar and a gallon of water.
Like a teaspoon of water.
Yeah, a teaspoon of water and 40 teaspoons of sugar. But yeah, I love that stuff growing up. And now I think I would be like, this is way too much sugar.
Sugary.
But in theory, the good idea about it was that you could control how much sugar that you put in.
Right.
So it could have less sugar than like a can of soda. But of course, kids were the ones making the Kool-Aid, not the adults usually. Right. So how much sugar do you think they're going to put in? Enough to make a syrup.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
so from a kid's perspective, I think Kool-Aid Man is your automatic champion because kids love, flavored drinks more than they love tires.
This is fair.
Yes.
This is fair.
From an adult perspective, I'd much rather have a tire than I would some Kool-Aid now.
Yes. But hear me out. Okay. Here's my take on this. While the Michelin Man is made of tires, which, I'm sure being rubber and made to be durable and whatever, and, cushioned and whatever, great. And the Michelin Man had strong arms, right?
Yep.
Bulky guy.
Right.
But the Kool-Aid Man is literal liquid.
Uh-huh. Except for his glass pitcher.
Yeah, but like, you think that's gonna... The whole point of Kool-Aid Man is that, like...
You break that pitcher, he's bleeding out.
I
Do you
don't
think he's still
so.
alive once he's no longer full of Kool-Aid?
You think there's only one packet of Kool-Aid and that's what keeps him alive?
Oh, sure. He can have a plasma transplant with Kool-Aid from a Kool-Aid donor. But he's down for the count if he doesn't get that quickly refilled.
Yeah, but does the Michelin Man have a catchphrase?
He does have a catchphrase. And here's why, with the little research, I think first I was leaning towards Kool-Aid Man because he literally busts through people's walls and furnishings like a maniac, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, well, he's stronger because he's busting through walls.
Yeah.
But the Michelin Man, his original catchphrase, and this goes to him being French, is "Nunc es biberidum," which translates to "Now is the time to drink."
Wow.
Now, if that doesn't tell you what's going to happen between a fight between the Michelin Man and Kool-Aid Man, I think
That's crazy.
That says it better than anything I could come up with. He is going to drink Kool-Aid Man's juice.
I mean, kind of.
And think about it psychologically. He's rubber. That guy is not glue.
You say bounces
yes,
off me
it sticks to you.
and sticks to the floor.
And the other insane thing about Kool-Aid Man, he doesn't have a lid. He literally is spilling Kool-Aid anytime he's walking. You know, he busts through walls. He's got to be full of like debris and stuff, asbestos. His time on this earth is limited. Let's face it.
You're being too literal. But
The amount of damage he's done to himself over the years.
I will say, though, the Michelin Man, Michelin-starred restaurants come from that.
Yes.
So, I mean, in terms of, like, to your point about being an adult, now, maybe I don't want to drink Kool-Aid, but maybe I want to go to a Michelin-starred restaurant.
You want a smooth ride on your vehicle as well.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm so rooting for maybe it would be like I would bet my money on the Michelin Man, but in the crowd, I would be actively rooting for Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And then there would be cherry Kool-Aid all over everything, and it would just be a catastrophe.
No, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah. All right. You have a point. Well, I am reluctantly in agreement with you because I was immediately like, oh, Kool-Aid Man, just because like I was just sort of assuming that it's like, remember those, I'm sure maybe you did, baby bottles when you were a kid and they had like the cups where you would turn it upside down and it looked like the liquid was gone. And then you would put it right side up and it was like, oh, it's filled with milk or orange juice. I was sort of going with that's the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, I thought you were going to point out how like Kool-Aid would stain the rubber of like a baby bottle, a nipple.
No.
Because you could never get those entirely. They would, as soon as you had any kind of juice drink in there, they would like be stained forever with whatever that first red juice drink was, no matter how much you scrubbed. So let's not kid around here. The Michelin Man, he is coming out fully stained in cherry Kool-Aid. It's going to be a mess for him. He is a white tire. He is white rubber. Yeah, he is coming out of this battle forever changed. But the Kool-Aid Man, he's donezo.
Well, and he's going to have a new catchphrase. He's going to be like, I'm the Joker, baby. Because he's going to have like a Kool-Aid stained mouth. Like,
why so serious?
Exactly. All right. Well, that went in a direction that we couldn't have predicted. But
Absolutely. But I desperately want to see this movie now, folks. So Hollywood, you're on notice. You got to make the Michelin Man versus Kool-Aid Man. They made Ford versus Ferrari, so why not this?
Exactly. So it could even be a short. Like, hey, remember when they used to have like Steamboat Mickey at the beginning of movies?
Steamboat Willie.
I think that one. That one. I think there needs to be a whole series of shorts where you put brand mascots against each other.
I like it.
All right. I'm sending it to myself again.
All right. Well, I spun the wheel while we were talking here. And next week's topic is hangover cure. So at least I know what this is. At least I know what we're talking about. Will I remember it come next week? Probably not. But I'll look it up again before we start talking, as we always do.
There you go. I love it. People have all sorts of thoughts on hangover cures. Of course, there is the best way, and that would be, as my mother liked to teach me, abstinence.
Yes. Well, on that note, did you agree with our winner here in the battle, or do you have thoughts? We'd love to hear from you either way. Asking at don'taskmetotalk.com. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have yourself a wonderful week.
Oh, yeah.